The National Training on Organic Breeding and Culture, held at the BFAR National Inland Fisheries Technology Centre in Tanay, Rizal, from March 31st to April 4th, 2025, commenced with the arrival and registration of participants. Ms. Maria Tashian Funes, aquaculturist 1 of BFAR and NIFTC, extended a warm welcome. Following this, Ms. K. Pauline Margaret Ruby, aquaculturist 2 of BFAR and NIFTC, delivered a welcome remarks. Participants then introduced themselves, establishing a foundation of camaraderie and collaboration.
Sa Tanay Rizal tayo nagsama-sama, BFAR and NIFTC handog ay kaalaman. Organic farming ating pag-aaralan, para sa masaganang ani di magtutulan. Organic breeding and culture ating yayakapin. Inland fisheries para sa kinabukasan. BFAR guidelines susundin natin, para sa bansa at para sa mga Pilipino.
The session continued with a crucial levelling of expectations, ensuring a shared understanding of goals among trainees, lecturers, and fellow participants. Mr. Odon Jamonti, Senior Aquaculturist of BFAR and NIFTC, provided comprehensive insights into the P&S guidelines for organic aquaculture. This was followed by a presentation on P&S guidelines for organic aquaculture feeds by Ms. K. Pauline Margaret Ruby, aquaculturist 2 of BFAR and NIFTC. Finally, the day concluded with an informative session on the bionomics of catfish, Pangasius, common carps, and giant gourami, expertly presented by Mr. Ferdinand Vocal, aquaculturist 1 of BFAR and NIFTC. Day 2 of the National Training on Organic Breeding and Culture began with a lecture on the breeding and culture of common carps, presented by Mr. Marvin Costo, Administrative Assistant 2 of BFAR and NIFTC. This was followed by a lecture on the breeding of catfish and Pangasius, delivered by Mr. Julius Aaron, Aquaculturist 1 of BFAR and NIFTC. The intricacies of giant gourami breeding were then explored in a lecture by Mr. Jet Christian Golia, Aquaculturist 1 of BFAR and NIFTC. Next, Ms. Lynn San Jose, Project Assistant 3 of BFAR and NIFTC, provided a lecture on fish and feeding. The day concluded with a practical hands-on practicum focused on fish and feeding, allowing participants to apply the knowledge gained throughout the day's lectures.
Mga eksperto kaalaman ay ibibahagi sa pag-aalaga ng isda, lahat ay natutunan. At tuwal na pagsasanay ay ating ginawa. Pagpapaalat at pagpaparami ating pinag-aralan. Organic breeding and culture ating yayakapin. Inland fisheries para sa kinabukasan. PNS guidelines susundin natin, para sa bansa at para sa mga Pilipino.
Day 3 of the training focused entirely on practical, hands-on activities. Participants actively engaged in a comprehensive practicum focused on the induced breeding of African catfish using pituitary gland and testes extracts. This hands-on session involved a step-by-step process, beginning with the careful selection of mature broodstock based on specific criteria such as size, weight, and physical condition. The team then prepared the fish for the induction process, employing techniques to minimize stress and ensure optimal results. The extraction and preparation of pituitary gland and testes materials were performed under strict aseptic conditions. The precise administration of these extracts was carefully controlled, followed by close monitoring of the fish's behavior and physiological responses. Participants learned to identify the signs of ovulation and spermiation. Following the induced breeding practicum, participants undertook separate practical sessions dedicated to the collection and sex identification of both common carp and Pangasius breeders. The common carp session involved learning proper techniques for netting and handling these fish to minimize stress and injury. Participants were then trained in visual sex identification of common carp, learning to distinguish between males and females based on subtle physical characteristics such as body shape, coloration, and the presence of secondary sexual characteristics. This was followed by a similar session focused on Pangasius, where participants learned species-specific handling techniques and honed their ability to accurately identify male and female Pangasius based on their morphology. Accurate sex identification is crucial for successful breeding programs, ensuring the optimal pairing of breeders and maximizing reproductive output. The practical nature of these sessions provided participants with essential hands-on experience in these critical aquaculture procedures. A practicum on the preparation of giant gourami for natural breeding involved the preparation, application, and broadcasting of cocoa coir in the rock pool pond to create suitable nests. Cleaning activities were also conducted, encompassing the cleaning of hatching tanks and other breeding equipment, and the sterilization of cakebuns containers used for common carp egg laying for subsequent use. The final practicum sessions for Day 3 involved two distinct but equally important procedures. First, participants engaged in a hands-on exercise focused on the stripping of eggs from African catfish. This involved the careful and controlled extraction of eggs from the two female catfish, a delicate process requiring precision and skill to minimize damage to both the fish and the eggs. Participants learned proper handling techniques to ensure the well-being of the broodstock and the viability of the eggs.
Sa Tanay, Rizal, tayo'y nagsama-sama. BFAR and NIFTC handog ay kaalaman. Organic farming, ating pag-aaralan. Para sa masaganang ani di magdudulan. Organic breeding and culture, ating yayakapin. Inland fisheries para sa kinabukasan. BFAR guidelines, susundin natin. Para sa bansa at para sa mga Pilipino.
This was followed by a session focused on the setting of cakebuns for common carp breeding. This included learning the technique of beating the water surrounding the selected female common carp to stimulate egg release, a method that encourages natural spawning behavior. These final practicums provided valuable experience into contrasting but equally vital breeding techniques, showcasing both advanced and traditional methods within aquaculture. Day 4 commenced with a lecture on nursery pond management, expertly delivered by Mr. Raul Cagayan, aquaculturist 1 of BFAR and NIFTC. This was followed by a lecture on the aquaculture of catfish, Pangasius, common carp, and giant gourami, presented by John Denver Vocal, aquaculturist 1 of BFAR and NIFTC. Participants then engaged in a practical practicum on nursery pond management, applying the knowledge gained from the earlier lecture.
Mga eksperto kaalaman ay ibibahagi sa pag-aalaga ng isda, lahat ay natutunan. At tuwal na pagsasanay ay ating ginawa pagpapaalat at pagpaparami ating pinag-aralan.
The afternoon session began with a lecture on natural food production by Maria Analanita, Senior Administrative Assistant 1 of BFAR and NIFTC, followed by a lecture on water quality management by Ms. Mary Joan Romero, Aquacultural Technologist of BFAR and NIFTC. These lectures were complemented by practical hands-on sessions, a practicum on natural food production and a practicum on water quality management.
Giant Gourami, Carpa at Pangasius ating inaalagaan para sa masaganang ani. Water quality, natural food ating pinag-aaralan para sa masaganang ani at di magkukulang. Paglilinis ng tangke at mga kagamitan, yan ay mahalaga kasama sa pag-aalaga. Nursery management, grow at culture ating natutunan. Fish health management, lahat ay ating naunawaan. Organic breeding and culture ating yayakapin. Inland fisheries para sa kinabukasan. PNS guidelines susundin natin para sa bansa at para sa mga Pilipino.
The day concluded with a lecture on fish health management by Ms. Maria Tashian Funes, Aquaculturist 1 of BFAR and NIFTC. This week-long training has equipped you with valuable knowledge and practical skills in organic breeding and culture. We commend your dedication and hard work throughout the program. Embrace the challenges ahead, apply your newfound expertise, and contribute to the sustainable growth of the aquaculture industry. We are confident that you will be successful in your endeavors, and we wish you all the best in your future work. Congratulations on completing this intensive training.
Organic breeding and culture ating yayakapin. Inland fisheries para sa kinabukasan. PNS guidelines susundin natin para sa bansa at para sa mga Pilipino. Maraming salamat, BFAR and